Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! Look, the fight is coming. Are you ready for the fire? We're firemen. We are firemen! The heat doesn't bother us. We eliminate it.
So much power, so much intensity in your punches.
And new Yuriorkis light heavyweight champion of the world, still undefeated, Andre
Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing.
I'll be right with you, fight fans. What's going on with you, man? Just trying to make sure everything is copacetic, you know what I'm saying?
As we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man.
Got a lot to talk about, man. Got a lot to talk about. Got a lot to talk about. Here we go. Here we go. What's good with your fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, man, listen, first off, let me welcome everybody that's catching this live and everybody that's going to catch it on the playback, man. If you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. Listen, man, congratulations to Gervonta Silverback Davis on bringing him out last night, man. He had a packed house. I believe it was 14,000 plus that packed that arena, man. Tank is definitely the one of the biggest stars in boxing, man. I think he's right up there with right behind Canelo as far as selling tickets, man, putting asses in the seats, man. And you gotta commend. You got to commend Gervonta Davis for doing that, man. Also, you got to commend him on getting the victory last night. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are, being very critical of his performance, saying that, Tank looked vulnerable. Tank didn't look himself. But you got to look at everything from, open eye, man. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has high expectations for Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got high expectations for him. So when those expectations aren't met, people criticize. You know what I'm saying? People feel let down. You know what I'm saying? Did Tank come in not looking his best? Yes, Tank did. You know what I'm saying? Tank came, he struggled with the weight a little bit. They said it was some, a mix up with the scales and all that type of stuff right there. But regardless of that, man, people think Tank didn't look good. He looked bad. That was a bad performance. Well, if a bad performance, if I win every round, get 3 knockdowns, make him look like he was dancing on the dance floor all night long, doing the stinky leg. If that's a bad performance, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis and his victory over Yuriorkis Gamboa. But before we get to that fight, I want to talk a little bit about the opening bout between the guy Jose Uzatiki and Lionel Thompson. Now, I got to admit, I was not too familiar with this dude, Lionel Thompson. I didn't know who the hell he was. You know what I'm saying? I seen the 5 losses on his record. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of thought less of him automatically. You know what I'm saying? I said Uzatiki's going to go in there, going to chop this dude down and get him out of there. Well, that's not what happened, man. Uzatiki has not looked the same since, that boy Caleb Plant put them paws all on him. You know what I'm saying? Beat him up, beat him down. Caleb Plant posted something to Twitter in the effect of, once you beat down a bully in front of everybody, he's never the same. You know what I'm saying? And I keep looking back and thinking, like, how in the hell did Uzatiki beat Darrell? You know what I'm saying? I'm scratching my head on that one. How the hell did he beat Darrell? You know, I don't know, man. I don't know. But Uzatiki, he's not what we thought he was, man. There were flashes in that fight where he looked like he was going to take control, but he never really did, man. You know what I'm saying? So this guy Lionel Thompson, who campaigned his whole career at light heavyweight, this was his first time coming down to 168, you know what I'm saying? And he was able to get the victory. He's with TMT. He's out of that Mayweather gym, man, and he did a good job, man. He controlled the fight. He controlled the fight with his jab. You know what I'm saying? His movement was on point, lateral movement. He backed off the back foot brilliantly. He was able to drop Uzatiki, I believe. What was that? The first round, I believe. You know what I'm saying? He was able to buzz him a couple more times. He fought a good fight. You know what I'm saying? He fought a very disciplined, good fight, man. And I was happy to see. I was happy to see a guy who nobody really knows, you know what I'm saying, come on the scene and get some recognition, man, because we always see these fights and pretty much got an idea on who's going to win, you know what I'm saying? So when some unknown guy comes and upsets the apple cart, you know what I'm saying, it's always refreshing, you know what I'm saying, to see some new blood, man. My man Hood's in the house. What's good with you, fam? He says Tank won, but he was out of shape, wasn't crisp, and tired after the fourth round. I agree with you, man. And that comes with learning. You know what I'm saying? Tank's now a 3-time world champion. A lot of people, not gonna give him credit for a secondary title, but that's what they're, that's what they're putting out there. Salute Delani Cash. I see you, fam. Three-time champion, man. Tank, he did what he had to do. You know what I mean? He wasn't sharp. He wasn't sharp as we always see him. He looked a little gas. Tank got to be more disciplined, man. You can't go into camp and spend most of the time trying to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? From what I'm hearing, Tank blows up to 175, 180 pounds. Then you got to come all the way back down to 135, man. That's not good. That's not healthy, and that's not discipline, man. So I hope Tank learns from this, man, and really gets focused. But on the flip side of that, I think that Tank looked at Gamboa and underestimated him. You know what I'm saying? So we never seen Tank have a fear of like, damn, I may lose this fight. To make him want to train 100%, to make him want to, go into camp and give it everything he's got, because he's always relying on his power. He's looking at his opponent like there's no way he can beat me. But if he had that fear of maybe I could lose this fight, man, I think we will see a tip top shape Tank. You know what I'm saying? Like when he went down there with Coach Kevin Cunningham, I think that was the best Tank we ever seen, man. Tank looked it very explosive, even though he got the knockout early, man. Tank was in shape for that fight. Kevin Cunningham don't play no games, and I think if he was to get a big fight, or when he gets a big fight in 2020, man, he might want to go down there and just seclude himself down there with Cunningham, man, and really focus on training. You understand what I'm saying? Because he go up against the Devin Haneys, the Lomachenkos, the Teofimo Lopez. He's gonna have to be in spectacular form, man. Rob Ramon, what's up with your fam? Appreciate you sliding through, man. Damn, man, I thought you had a wrench, man. How you ain't got a wrench, man? Let me fix this real quick, man. If I can do it from here. But yeah, man. And there's a lot of people, there you go, fam. You should have been had that wrench. I thought you had one. There's a lot of people ragging on Tank, man. You know what I mean? Saying, even Terrence Crawford come out and he tweets, stay away from Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Well, people said the same thing about you after his lackluster performance against, Green Machine. You know what I'm saying? But Terrence Crawford, in my opinion, went there and did what he had to do. I wasn't one of those people that criticized him. You know what I'm saying? But this is something that boxing fans has a custom of doing after, somebody who they got high expectations of don't perform. You know what I'm saying? You take a look at Devin Haney's last fight against Alfredo Santiago, who was on that, KSI Logan Paul undercard. Everybody was expecting Devin Haney to come in here and wash dude. But it didn't happen like that, man. You know what I mean? The dude Santiago was awkward. You know what I mean? He came to fight. And Devin Haney wasn't able to get him out of there, wasn't able to shine like he wanted to shine. You know what I'm saying? So after that performance, people started questioning Devin Haney. Is Devin Haney really ready for this? Is Devin Haney really ready for that? You know what I'm saying? But, people ain't jump all over him like they jumping all over Tank. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Teofimo Lopez when he fought the Japanese guy, Nakatami. Nakatami, he made a very good account of himself, man. You know what I'm saying? And after that fight, people were questioning Teofimo Lopez. Is he this? Is he that? He ain't what we thought he was. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with the territory. That's just the fight game. You know what I'm saying? You look at Lomachenko, man. You look at his last 4 fights. There's only one fight out of the last 4 that he shined in, and that was against Anthony Corolla. You know what I'm saying? He struggled with Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell buzzed him a few times. He had problems with Pedraza, who Tank destroyed. And he also had problems with Jorge Linares, who had been knocked out by lesser guys before that. This is the same guy that got knocked out by Pablo Cano. You know what I'm saying? He got knocked out by Juan Santiago. You know what I'm saying? Dude you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Sergio Thompson knocked Jorge Linares out. So Linares wasn't, he wasn't, the cream of the crop, but he gave Lomachenko problems. He sat Lomachenko down. But you didn't hear all this talk that, he was exposed, he's vulnerable, all this type of talk that you're hearing about Tank. You're hearing it about Tank because we have high expectations of Tank, and everybody is got Tank on their mind. Everybody got Tank, as one of the top fighters. And when you don't go out there and do what everybody think you should do, you're going to take some criticism. And I think that, the criticism is warranted to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? It's warranted to a certain extent because Tank, in my opinion, he was gassed the second half of that fight. He said he wasn't at the post-fight press conference, but you can obviously see that he was gassed. But, credit to him. He found his second win. He was able to turn it up. And, he beat Gamboa up, man. You know what I'm saying? Gamboa got, he was holding a lot, man, using them veteran tactics. He was holding a whole lot, man. Trying not to get knocked out. He was hurt multiple times, man. He was hitting on the break. He caught Tank slipping. Tank was looking in the crowd or something, and Gamboa caught him with a nice 3-piece clean combination. You know what I'm saying? Tank ate that shit, chewed it up, and spit it out. Then went back to work on Gamboa. You know what I mean? Sort of like the same punch that Tank caught his last opponent. I forget dude's name. Rodriguez or something. I forget his name. But, dude took his eyes off of Tank for 1 second. Tank caught him and got him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So Tank's pretty, Tank's pretty lucky that he got a solid chin and that Gamboa, ain't have too much more steam on his punches because them 3 clean shots, man, they might have got him out of there. You know what I'm saying? My man Rod says, who you think Tank will fight next? Gamboa was in survival mode. No doubt he was in survival mode. I think it's almost 100% that Tank fights Leo Santa Cruz next, man. They've been talking about it for so long. PBC, they want to make that fight. They keeping Santa Cruz away from Gary Russell, but every interview you see, Leo Santa Cruz got Tank name in his mouth now. Like I said in my last stream, I don't know if the guy got a death wish or what's wrong with him, man. I don't know, but there's no part of me that thinks Leo Santa Cruz can give Tank any type of action. You know what I'm saying? I see that, that's going to be a slaughter. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think Leo has the punch to keep Tank off of him, man. I like Leo Santa Cruz. I think he's a very, very talented boxer, man. But, when you're dealing with an explosive guy, a guy who punches as hard as Tank does, you know what I'm saying? You got to have more than volume, man. You got to have some snap on your punches, man. James West, what's good with you, fam? He says Tank performed very well, but he was gassed. Gamboa did his best. He left it all in the ring. I doubt Gamboa tore his Achilles. I don't think he tore his Achilles either, man. Like, Jimmy, we play sports all our lives, man. We've been, we know when an Achilles is tore. You're not going to be able to walk, much less fight on that thing if you tore it, man. So all that, he might have twisted his ankle or something. Something was clearly wrong with his ankle or his foot, you know what I'm saying? But all that Achilles torn shit, I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying? I am definitely not buying it, man. But Gamboa showed a lot of heart, man. He showed a lot of heart. You could tell that he was in hell of a shape for this fight because Tank, I got Tank as the hardest puncher at 135. You know what I'm saying? Between him and Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? But I give Tank the edge in power. And Gamboa ate a lot of them power shots. I mean, he was dancing on the dance floor all night, doing the stinky leg, but, some of them shots that Tank caught him with would have knocked a lesser guy out. ASAP, Ferg, you know what I mean? Would have knocked him out. James West said it would stop you in your tracks. Exactly. So there's no way that that wasn't a tour Achilles, man. But yeah, man. Then now the comparisons come out. You know what I'm saying? You look at Teofimo's resume. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo went in there and washed Richard Comey. Richard Comey is a solid fighter. I give him that. But you got to really look at Richard Comey. Yeah, he always comes to fight. Yeah, he got a little pop with him. But you look at his resume, man. Richard Comey's best win is an old, washed-up Ray Beltran. You know what I'm saying? Every time that Comey stepped up, he lost. He lost to Robert Easter. He lost to Shavakov. You know what I'm saying? And now he lost to Teofimo Lopez. He was hurt in the fight with Robert Easter. I love Robert Easter. I rock with Robert Easter. But Robert Easter couldn't punch his way through a wet paper brag, and he hurt Richard Comey multiple times in their fight. So it was like a foregone conclusion that Lopez was going to knock him out. It was just about when. I didn't expect him to do it in the second round. I didn't expect him to do it in that fashion. But, he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? But, you can't crown him king just because he knocked out Richard Comey in the second round and did a backflip after that. Nah, fam. I'm not buying it, man. My man Hot Rod says, would you rather see Teofimo or Ryan Garcia fight Tank next? Either one of them, man. I think Teofimo will give him the better competition. I think Ryan Garcia, I don't think he's quite ready yet. Defensively, he is getting better down there working with the Reynosos, but I just think that he'll get hit by a Tank, and I think that'll be all she wrote, man. Because he backs out with his chin straight up. He backs out in a straight line instead of pivoting to the left or to the right. You know what I'm saying? He don't hold the phone after he throws that jab out. He don't bring that hand back up there. You know what I'm saying? So he just needs to tighten up his defense a little bit more, and I'll be clamoring for that fight. I think that fight will be a very good fight. But if he gets in there with Tank right now, I just think Tank destroys him, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. I may be right. I may be wrong. I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? We'll have to see on that one. But as far as Teofimo, I think that'll be something to see. I think that'll be explosive fireworks. You know what I mean? But let's talk about this Badu Jack and John Pascal fight, man. I didn't see that coming, man. You know what I'm saying? Badu Jack, in my opinion, has always been a guy who underachieves. You know what I mean? He always is in the fight, but, he never really excels to that elite level. You know what I'm saying? He don't turn it to that third gear. You see it. You see the first gear. You see him go to the second gear, but you don't see him go to that third gear that's needed at the elite level, man. And I thought, you know what I'm saying, in that 12th and final round, I thought that, you know what I mean, he was headed towards that third gear when he almost knocked Pascal out, but he didn't do it, man. I thought that Badu Jack won the fight. You know, I thought he won the fight, but you know, I'm not mad at Pascal for getting the victory, man. Pascal looked good, especially early on. I never seen him, you know what I mean, so focused and so, you know, disciplined, man. It seemed that he was hungry. It seemed that he wanted it, and you know, congrats to him, man, because you know you could tell that he trained hard for this fight. You know, his last couple fights, man, like his fights with Sergey Kovalev, man, I just knew he was done. I thought Sergey Kovalev was about to kill him in that ring. Bivol beat him up, you know what I'm saying? He has taken a lot of punishment during his career, man, and I just see that he got a solid chin, so I didn't think that Badu Jack would be able to stop him, but I thought he would be able to, you know, beat him on the cards. My man James West says Lopez and Tank would put asses in the seats and probably sell 500 K pay-per-views. I think Lopez fighting on ESPN has raised his status. No doubt. I agree with that, man. But you know what I'm saying? We just right now what we're doing is just wishful thinking, fam. You know what I'm saying? We're just that fight ain't gonna happen no time soon, in my opinion. They're dead set on this Leo Santa Cruz thing, and honestly, I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, man. But you know, Leo Santa Cruz was just at 126. You know, there's unification bouts down there for him that want to fight him. You know, Gary Russell's been calling his name, but he wants Tank. He wants Tank, and I could see why the PBC and why Tank and you know they would want to take this fight because it's a financial gain for them, man. Leo Santa Cruz, man, like I said before, he brings those essays out over there in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And Tank brings them out wherever he goes. So you take that fight to the West Coast, to the Staples Center or wherever, man, and they're gonna sell out. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do decent pay-per-view numbers. I wouldn't say like my man Jimmy said, like 500K or nothing like that, but I do see them doing, you know, 250, 300,000, which is good nowadays. Now in this streaming, you know what I'm saying, we got this streaming thing going on, man. But you know, I'm not really interested in that fight. I will watch it because you know Tank is my guy, but I'm not interested in seeing him in Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Abner Moraes, you know what I'm saying? Abner Moraes will give Tank a better fight than Leo Santa Cruz, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I would rather see that than Leo Santa Cruz. But, you know, they're going to do things their way, man. PBC is you know, they don't care what the public says, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be pressured into doing a goddamn thing. You understand me? Nothing, man. But you know, Atlanta was that shit was lit, man. Everybody who was anybody was in the house in Atlanta, man. You know what I'm saying? They brought the furs, the minks, the ice, the chains and rings, and you know what I'm saying? They was out there representing, man. 14,000 plus, man. Tank brought them out. You know what I'm saying? Tank brought them out, man. Tank has a personality, man, that, you know, he's just one of those guys who people gravitate to. You know what I mean? He needs to learn how to speak a little better when he's interviewing, but people like him. People like him, and people like knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Right now, Tank's on a 14-fight knockout streak. You know what I'm saying? The last 14 people that got in the ring with him went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? He's 23-0, 22 knockouts. That's outstanding, man. People don't give him enough credit for being the puncher that he is, man. Tank punishes people, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, people talk about how many times he missed weight. He only missed weight one time, and that was on the Mayweather McGregor undercard when he fought Fonseca and lost his title. You know what I'm saying? He missed, he came in and weighed in over the limit a few times, you know what I'm saying? But, after that hour, he came back and was able to make weight. Fine. So you can't say he missed weight. You know what I'm saying? The guy made the weight. You know what I mean? But Tank, he got a lot of maturing to do, in my opinion. You got a lot of maturing to do, man. You got to realize when there's a lot of people depending on you, there's a lot of people riding with you, talking about how big of a star you are, how, good of a fighter you are, man. You got to be able to back that shit up. You know what I'm saying? You got to take your craft seriously. Coming to the weigh-in hours late, then you come in overweight. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tighten that up a little bit, fam. Tighten that up, man, because you got a lot of people who riding with you, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who want to see you succeed, but on the flip side of that, you got a lot of people that's looking for something, just looking for something to, needle you about. You know what I'm saying? To hate on you about, man. So, I think, Tank will take this as a learning lesson, man, and I think, he'll get his shit together, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll get his shit together. He got the right people around him. You know what I'm saying? Al Heyman and those guys, man, they'll keep them together. Another thing I wanted to talk about was his trainer. Cuddy, Cuddy Ford, man. He's a good trainer. I could see that he loves Tank. You know what I'm saying? He's he really cares about Tank. He has done a great job with Tank. But something rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I'm watching things with Cuddy Ford, and he's talking about how many fighters he got on the card. You know what I'm saying? You got 5 fighters on the card and it's your main fighters, your cash cow, biggest fight. You know what I'm saying? I think that, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think that all of his attention should have been with Tank. You know what I'm saying? He talked about not being with Tank before the weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? Not helping him come to the, to the weight that he was supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? He's off with these other fighters that he got on the card. You know what I'm saying? He also brought 40, 50 kids from Baltimore, which is a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to knock him, but I'm just talking about his attention with his prized possession, which is Tank Davis, man. You got to give your prized possession 100% attention. You know what I'm saying? And having 5 fighters on the card, man, there's no way that, Tank got that one-on-one time that he needed from his coach ahead of time. You know what I mean? There's no way. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. And people, they talk about Danny Jacobs in his split with Andre Rozier. You know what I'm saying? Which I think was some dirt ball shit. The way he did Rozier. But then, you know what I'm saying, you listen to some of the things that Danny's saying. He was missing training sessions. He was focusing on other fighters. When it was time to go to Vegas for, press conferences and other things, Rozier wouldn't come. He would come a couple days later. So Danny felt that he wasn't getting the attention that he deserves. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say that, when you're a head trainer and you got, you got different fighters and all that. If you got a cash cow, if you got a number one guy who's fighting or training for a fight, you gotta focus on that one guy. You gotta focus on your prized possession, man. You know what I'm saying? Or else it may end up in like Danny Jacobs and Andre Rozier. Like I think Cuddy Ford, man. I think he spread himself a little thin. Last week with 5 fighters on the card, bringing 40, 50 kids down to, just enjoy the atmosphere. I think him and Tank is a good match, man, but, I think they can click a little bit more. They could gel a little bit more if he put his focus on him a little bit more, man. Like I said, I wouldn't mind him going back down there with Kevin Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham had Tank right. Had him focus, had him come out there, you know what I'm saying? You see the 6-pack, you see the obliques, you see all that, man. I ain't seen that since the camp with Cunningham. I can't really remember seeing it before. So I gotta say Kevin Cunningham had him in the best shape, man. My fault. My man James West says Jack versus Pascal was a really good fight. Jack was landing cleaner shots. I thought he should have had won the decision. I think the judges were fooled by Pascal stepping up his activity in the last 10 seconds of the round. Yeah, I noticed that, man. I noticed him doing that too. You know, when he hear that 10-second clap, he would turn up. He would turn up, man, and you know, some of the judges, they like that shit. And then you got to look at Pascal is very explosive, man. You know what I'm saying? He's explosive with his punches. They was harder. They were faster. They had more violence on them. You know what I mean? So the judges looking at that too, like, damn, this dude is really trying to hurt this dude. You know what I mean? And Jack is more clean cut, more traditional. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think Jack won that fight. You know, I think he won that fight. But you know, Jack, he needs to turn it up, man. If you know, he knows he's a late starter. You know what I'm saying? You know that. You keep saying that over and over again. Don't you think you would try to start a little faster? Don't you think you would put emphasis on starting faster? But nah, man, Jack just keep coming with the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep coming being you know, being content with starting late, you know what I'm saying, and playing catch up, man. The judges ain't going for that all the time, man. That's why you see the last 5-6 of his fights were very close draws, split decisions. You know what I mean? Because you know they don't know who to pick, man. John Smith says one leg Gamboa. Yeah, he was on one leg, man. I don't think it would have made a difference though. You know, I don't think it would have made a difference, man. But Gamboa showed a lot of heart. Credit to him. Credit to him, man. I think that after this, you know, whether it be Leo Santa Cruz or whether it be Abner Mares, I think after that fight there, I think Tank needs to fight another champion. He needs to fight somebody elite, you know what I mean? So, you know, he could put all these questions that people have to bed, you know what I'm saying? Like my man Mansour was saying the other day, we don't know if Tank can, you know, take it from a vicious body puncher. We don't know if Tank can, you know, how he would do if somebody sit him down. You know what I mean? If he would, can he get up and come back from adversity? These are the things that we want to see from Tank. You know what I'm saying? Every great fighter, you know what I'm saying, they have went through adversity. They were able to overcome adversity, you know, and you just going in there blowing out your competition in 2-3 rounds, man, you know what I mean? Your head get overconfident. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't blow them out of the water in 2 or 3 rounds, you know, you get a little discouraged. You get befuddled. You know what I mean? Credit to Tank. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He was able to stick in there and, you know what I mean, stay poised. And he also showed that he carried his power late. You know what I'm saying? He hurt Gamboa all through that fight. You know, Gamboa did a lot of holding and grabbing and wrestling, man. And that grappling take a lot out you, too. You know what I mean? There was a lot of grappling in that fight, man. You know, Jack Reese, he allowed a lot of that grappling to take place, man. And that takes a lot out of you, man. Tank talked about he wasn't, you know, he said he wasn't tired at the post-fight press conference, man. But you could see the boy was tired. You know what I'm saying? There was times when he just was, you know, not throwing a punch for 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of looking and moving a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he did what he was supposed to do. And, you know, these people that talk about Tank look bad, they don't know what they talking about. They just looking for a reason to hate. Was this his best performance? No. But did he look bad? How can you say a guy looked bad when he won every single round? Maybe lost one round. You know what I'm saying? How you say a guy looked bad when he knocked the guy down 3 times, when he hurt him more times than that? You know, like I said, it looked like Gamboa was at a party, like he was on the dance floor. He was doing the stinky leg all through the night, man. You know what I'm saying? Tank got some power with him, but credit to Gamboa, he was so in shape that, you know what I'm saying, he was able to absorb those punches, man. He was able to absorb them, you know what I mean? James West said, do you think Davis is big enough to go all the way to 147? Man, I don't know, man. He's only 5'5" or something, man. You know, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? Some of those boys is, you know, 6 foot, 5'10". You know what I mean? He'll be giving up a lot of height. You know, I don't know about that. I think he may be able to go to 140, and by the way it's looking, it may be a little sooner than you think. You know what I mean? But 147, I think, might be a little stretch for that, man. My man, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk is in the building, man. Shout out to him, man. Go check him out. He says, hit the like button, show Big Will some love. I appreciate you sliding through, fam. He says, what's up, Big Will? Just stopping through, showing some support, fam. Speak Your Mind Sports. My man. I appreciate you, fam, coming through. Yeah, Gamboa showed a lot of heart. And, people had these high expectations for Tank. We gonna knock him out in 3. He gonna knock him out in 1. It ain't going past 6. And when it didn't happen, people were disappointed, and now people want to throw stones at him, man. But you got to look at Gamboa. Gamboa's tough. Every time he got sat down, he got up and fought. Even in the fight with Crawford, he got sat down, he got up and fought. Before this fight, I think the commentator says he was knocked down something like 14 times. He was sat down 14 times, but guess what? He got up and fought, man. And he won most of those fights that he was knocked down in. You know what I'm saying? He only got 2 L's, man, coming into this fight, and that's against Terrence Crawford, who many consider the best fighter in the world, and against, what's the dude's name, Castellano or something like that. And that was after Gamboa was out of the ring for a while. Gamboa took dude lightly. Wasn't in shape at all. You could tell he was tired by the 4th round. You know what I mean? And Castellano, he got the victory. You know what I mean? He's a solid fighter, but if Gamboa had came in shape, I don't think, he would have lost that fight, man. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say, Gamboa has been knocked down plenty of times, but Gamboa always got up. You know what I mean? That shows you the chin. That shows you the heart. You know what I mean? Well, not much the chin, man, but he ain't getting slept cold. You know what I mean? Nobody has ever slept him cold. This TKO referee come in and things like that there, man. Moses Ortiz, I hope I said that right. What's good with you, fam? He says Tank Davis versus Mikey Garcia. Ooh-wee! I would love to see that fight right there, man. Tank will have to be on his A game, man. He will have to, you know what I'm saying? He can't come in half-stepping against Mikey. You cannot come in half-stepping against Mikey. Mikey is the real deal, man. You know what I'm saying? People forget that because of, the way Earl Spence just went in there and made Mikey look. But Mikey's the real deal, man. You look at Mikey's fights before that, you look at Mikey's fights since he came back from the fallout with Top Rank, how he was just destroying people. You know what I mean? So that set people's expectations real high, the way he was destroying people. And, a lot of people thought he was going to give Earl Spence a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? I personally thought the fight was going to be a little better than it did. You know what I mean? I had Earl Spence winning, but I thought Mikey Garcia would had a better performance than he showed. You know what I'm saying? I thought Mikey would take more risk. He didn't. But, Mikey's the truth. Mikey's the truth. And the fight with Jesse Vargas is going to show a lot of people that, who Mikey Garcia really is, man. Nobody's been able to stop Jesse Vargas, you know what I mean? I think Mikey has the ability to stop Jesse Vargas. Mikey can punch hard. Mikey has a lot of self-belief. Mikey has a lot of confidence in himself, man. And that fight there, I'm going to cover that fight. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down there and cover that fight as media. I will be in Dallas for that Mikey Garcia, Jesse Vargas fight, man. That's how much I like Mikey, man. Yeah, James West said, I would pay for that, no doubt. My man Ortiz says, will Spence be the same after the crash? Man, and that's a good question. That is a good question, man. I was watching the video, the interview of Spence, when he came back and made that appearance. There's something that's off to me. You know what I'm saying? There's something that's off to me. His speech didn't seem right. He sounded like a shot fighter. You know what I mean? Some of his words were slurred, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that was just because of the car wreck or because, you know, he got some new teeth, you know what I'm saying? He got some new teeth, so that may have caused his speech to be a little different than what we're used to. You know what I'm saying? You know, like you pick gold teeth in your mouth, or, you know, if you ever been around people with dentures, you know what I'm saying? They put them in, they talk different. Or somebody who had lost a tooth or something, they talk different. So that may be the reason why, man. But Spence coming right back, he says he don't want no tune-ups. He says he want a straight bull out the gate. And you know, and if he's, you know, if he's confident that, you know, he's still 100%, if the doctors cleared him, and I'm sure he had CAT scans and been all type of checks and, you know, all type of MRIs and that thing there, man. So I'm sure that Spencer's going to be, you know, on point. If he says he's on point, I believe he's going to be on point, man. You know what I'm saying? He'll be able to tell when he gets into the sparring session and, you know, he gets to training. He'll know right away if his body's the same. You know what I mean? If he's able to take punches from his sparring partners the same. You know what I mean? He'll be able to. It ain't like the real fight, but he'll be able to tell a lot. You know what I mean? My man James West says, I felt the same way about Spence. I hope it was just the dental work. I really hope he doesn't rush back. So it wasn't me. It wasn't me. He was, you know, slurring his words a little bit. You know what I mean? But I like Spence, man. I think Spence is a dog. You know what I mean? Sean Porter showed us that, you know, Spence is human. You know what I'm saying? But it also showed us that Spence is a dog. He was able to dig deep and, you know, fight Sean Porter's fight and beat him by fighting his fight. But in doing so, you know, he showed little chinks in his armor that he's not Superman, that he can be hit, and that he will, you know, he can take some punishment. MDP, what's good with you, fam? I haven't seen you in a while, man. I've been going to your page, man, to your channel, periodically, man, looking for you to post something, man. I hope everything is cool, but I appreciate the super chat. He says, nice to see you still doing videos. Stay up, man. Same to you, man. Happy holidays to you and your family, fam. But yeah, man, I think Spence, you know, MDP says Tank looked like garbage. See, I don't agree with that, fam. I don't agree with that, man. If dominating a whole fight, winning every round, if knocking down your opponent 3 times, if hurting your opponent 5-6 times, you know, during the fight, if that is looking like garbage, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Did Tank look his best? Did he look sharp? No. But I wouldn't say he looked at garbage, fam. You know what I'm saying? I think he just didn't meet the expectations that everybody, you know, set for him. Everybody thought he was going to go in there and knock Gamboa out in 2-3 rounds. You know, nobody had the fight going past 6. And when the fight went past 6, you know, everybody started, you know, ragging on him like, oh man, he's exposed. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Tank definitely has some growing up to do, man. He definitely has some things to work on, and I think he'll get it together, man. I think he'll get it together, but we'll see. You know, Earl Spence, you know, after Terrence Crawford put that post out, you know, about Tank saying stay away from Lomachenko and stay away from Haney. You know, somebody in the comment sections told him, and you stay away from Earl Spence. And Earl Spence retweeted that. You know what I mean? Earl Spence is like, yeah, you stay away from Earl Spence, man. But that's the fight that people want to see. That's the fight that, you know, everybody's talking about. And we got to see it soon, man. Crawford is, 32? Will be 33 next year. You know what I mean? We don't want to see Crawford 34, 35, and we don't really know, you know what I'm saying, if, you know, how that fight really could have went. You know what I mean? Sort of like Golovkin, man. You know what I mean? We didn't see Golovkin fight an elite fighter until he was 34, 35 years old. So we really don't know how good Gennady Golovkin really was. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Crawford. I hope we don't have to wait till he's 34 or 35 to fight, the cream of the crop. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they can get it done sometime next year. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll see. I think now that, Earl Spence went through this situation, man, and, he had time to just sit back and reflect. I'm sure he was, on social media and just seeing that all the fans, this is the fight that the fans want. This is the fight that the public is demanding. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure that he understands that. You know what I mean? He understands that, and hopefully, he'll do what he has to do on his part to try to make that happen. You know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, to be 100% a buck with you, I think if Earl Spence wanted to make this fight, I think the fight will be made. I think the fight will be made. I think Terence Crawford really wants this fight. I think Earl wants this fight, but I think Earl wants to, fight those guys over at PBC first and save Crawford for dessert. You know what I mean? That's my take of it, man. You know what I mean? So if Earl decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to put Pacquiao to the side, you know what I mean? And I'm going to put Terence Crawford, right in front of me. Right, I want him right now. I think that fight will get made. My man James West says Gamboa is no slouch. He did win the gold medal. Yeah, and that's another thing, man. You know what I mean? He has a hell of a amateur background, won a gold medal, and you don't make it to the Olympics. Make it to the Olympics by being a bum, but he didn't just make it to the Olympics. He won a gold medal. You know what I mean? Gamboa, is he at the tail end of his career? Yes. Is this the best Gamboa? Yes, but I wouldn't call Gamboa a shock fighter. Paulie Malignaggi kept calling him a shock fighter. Like, I just think that was just so disrespectful. Paulie just keep calling him a shot fighter on national TV, man. You got people at home watching this fight, you know what I'm saying, thinking they, watching a good fight, and Paulie just shitting all over the fight, shitting all over the broadcast, man. I think that was some bullshit by Paulie, man. I think Steven Espinoza need to grab his ass by the collar, you know what I mean, and tell him what's up, man. You don't do that, man. You don't shit all over the telecast that you're commentating on, man. You know what I mean? You might as well said that Tank was in there fighting the ghost, fighting the mailman or something, man. The way you kept talking about Gamboa's shot. If this was Gamboa 5 years ago, this and that, come on, man. You know what I mean? You sound crazy. Paulie, man, you need to tighten up. I ain't dig that at all, man. But MDP, man, no hard feelings, man. That's just my opinion on, what I'm saying, what I see, on what I see. But I appreciate you coming through, fam, as always, man. I hope you start, putting that content back out, man, because I enjoyed what you was doing over there, fam. What else we got, man? Deontay Wilder ain't show up for a couple promotional media events, man. Tyson Fury blasting him, calling them all out his name, you know what I mean? Calling them bitches and pussies and all type of language, you know what I mean? I don't know what's up with Wilder. Wilder been dark, during this last week or so. I know he posted when the fight was official. He posted that, but ever since then, I ain't seen nothing. They put out something saying they was not going to have a press conference to launch a launch and press conference. That Tyson Fury would do his part at one of these games, and Deontay Wilder was supposed to be in Atlanta where he has a crib at, and promote down there. But he was a no-show, so I don't know what's going on with that, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. That's another fight that everybody want to see. Is people still want to see AJ and Wilder get it on. You know what I mean? AJ with his new fighting style, with the the sweet science, hit and not get hit. Is it possible that AJ can do that for 12 rounds against Deontay Wilder? Is it possible that he can stick and move and not get hit by that right hand for 12 whole rounds? Can he be disciplined enough to do that? that makes that fight a little bit more interesting, man. Because there's no way that I thought Anthony Joshua will be able to go in there and fight like he did against Ruiz. Not at this stage in his career, not at this, age. I didn't think he could do it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, he can learn. He can learn something different. You know what I mean? He was focused for that fight, and he wanted it bad, man. And when you want something bad, you sacrifice different things for it, man. And credit to him, he did what he was supposed to do and got the victory, and he looked good doing it. A lot of people say he ran and all that type of shit right there, but them was the same people who praised Floyd for all these years, talking about, that's the sweet science, to hit and not get hit. That defense is superb. That's what the boy Joshua did, man. You know what I mean? That's what he did, is hit and not get hit. There was times when he was knocking Ruiz's block off. You understand me? And I think it was a good fight, man. But Deontay Wilder's a whole nother animal. He ain't Andy Ruiz. He ain't Povetkin and Dillian White. He ain't none of those dudes, man. Deontay Wilder is going to show up, man. James West says, do you think the outcome would be different if Ruiz had trained for the fight? No, I don't, man. I think, Joshua, that the game plan that Joshua came in with, I think that Joshua would have beat with whatever Ruiz came in that night. You know what I'm saying? I think the first fight, Anthony Joshua, he underestimated Ruiz. He was focused on, Big Baby, and he just did not prepare properly for Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to, he just knew he was going in there to defend his title, and he wanted to look spectacular doing it. Wilder, a few weeks earlier, had just smoked Dominic Brazil. You know what I mean? So that all that's in the back of Joshua's mind. You know what I mean? So that's all he wanted to do is come in there and look good. So they can compare him to Deontay Wilder. And when he knocked Ruiz down, that's all he thought about. Here's my chance. Here, I'm about to have a spectacular KO. It's on and popping. And he jumped on Ruiz, and Ruiz cracked his ass and sat him down. Sat him down a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And, AJ just couldn't recover. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of them shots, man, that was on the top of AJ's head, and that messed the equilibrium all up, man, and he was never able to recover from that, and I kept telling people, man, it's the same Andy Ruiz that we've always seen. He just caught Joshua slipping, caught him with a good shot, Joshua does not have the best chin, but Andy, this is the same Andy Ruiz. Everybody ready to crown him king, put him, he's a #1 heavyweight, this and that, man. This is the same Ruiz, man. You know what I mean? A very skillful boxer, you know what I'm saying, who sometimes is not disciplined, who sometimes get lazy. That was one of the knocks Top Rank had about Andy Ruiz, is that, he would get lazy. He would blow up in weight. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't train. During this fight with Anthony Joshua, his trainer calling him to come to the gym. He tells his trainer, "Oh man, I'm going to stay at home and run on the treadmill." You got your whole team at the gym waiting for you to come in, and you telling them that you're going to run on the treadmill. Come on, fam. I seen it. When I start watching these videos of Andy Ruiz, he going out shopping, he's going out eating, and there's videos that I put up on this showing Andy Ruiz eating all this pizza with all this cheese and all this swine and all these toppings on it, drinking soda and eating wings and all this shit that he was doing, man. I said, you know what? He's going to lose this fight. He was doing all these interviews and making all these appearances. His mind wasn't focused, man. He was caught up in living the celebrity lifestyle. And I can't blame him, man. You come from being almost kicked out of your crib, you know what I'm saying, to superstardom overnight almost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're going to change. Yeah, you're going to be distracted, man. And that's what happened with Andy Ruiz, man. But I think he'll come back, pretty solid to be a contender in the heavyweight division, man. I think if there's a third fight with Anthony Joshua, which I don't want to see, I think the same thing happens. I think Deontay Wilder knocks Andy Ruiz out. I think Tyson Fury boxes circle around Andy Ruiz. But anybody else, after those three top guys, I think will be good fights. I think Andy Ruiz will give Big Baby a good fight. I think he would give Povetkin a good fight. I would love to see Adam Kwanaki and Andy Ruiz. Can you imagine the fireworks in that motherfucker, man? Woo! That would be something special. That would be something special, man. You know what I mean? Non-stop action. You know, I would love to see that, man. I would love to see that. But, you know, we'll see. 2020, man. We'll see what 2020 has to offer. I'll tell you what, man. 2019 started off slow. You know, I was like, God damn, this is a year boxing fell off. But man, by mid 2019, shit picked up, fam. Shit picked up. You know, I ain't even get a chance to discuss that Tony Harrison Jermell Charlo fight. Man, that was a hell of a fight there, man. You know, Jermell Charlo came out. I had to do a double take. Is that Sean Porter coming out? I mean, the way he came out and went at Tony Harrison, man, was just all out assault, man. You know, he was kind of wild. His punches were wide. You know what I mean? I confused him for Sean Porter for a second, man. You know what I'm saying? But that was a good ass fight. And you know, a lot of people talk about leading up to the fight. A lot of people said that, you know, Tony Harrison was in Charlo's head. Tony Harrison was in Charlo's head. But what I got from the performance is that Charlo was in Tony Harrison's head. And this is why. This is why I say that. Tony Harrison, he even said it. He wanted to show that he can dog the dog. Them was his words. I wanted to dog the dog. You know, he wanted to show Charlo that, you know, he can be just as rough and tough as him. And if that ain't Charlo being in his head, then I don't know what is, man. You know, although he had a lot of success doing that, man. I think that fight was real close. You know, I think that fight was real close, man. James West says, do you think we see Canelo and Charlo in 2020? I don't know, man. I think if Charlo get a meaningful fight, if he take that Demetrius Andre fight and he's able to win that fight, I think Canelo will fight him. You know, if Danny Jacobs come back down, Charlo take that Danny Jacobs fight, and Charlo wins that Danny Jacobs fight, I think Canelo will fight him. But I think Charlo's going to have to do something to warrant a fight. You know what I'm saying? Catch Canelo's attention for Canelo to be able to sell it. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, if he beats Demetrius Andrade, then, you know, Canelo say, okay, this is a unified champion I'm going up against. You know what I'm saying? If he beats Danny Jacobs, he could say, you know, Danny Jacobs is a top guy, man, who gave me a tough fight. I want to fight him. Hopefully that fight gets made. MDP says Harrison's chokes at the end of all his big fights. Yeah, yes he did, man, and it surprised me when he didn't choke in the first fight with Charlo. You know what I mean? That surprised me. So a lot of people thought that, you know, he was past it. And you know what I'm saying? We thought he was over it, but he wasn't. He wasn't, but he fought good, man. I think Harrison is one of the top guys at 154, but he's just a front runner, man. I don't know if it's his stamina or if it's his lack of focus, lack of concentration. I don't know what it is, man, but something happens to him late in fights. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, Jared Hurd knocked him out in the ninth. He was schooling Jared Hurd. He was whooping him good. You know, Willie Nelson, he was whooping him good. You know, both knocked him out in the ninth round. And Jermell Charlo, he was giving Jermell Charlo everything that the boy wanted, man. They was going back and forth that whole time. You know what I'm saying? And it was coming down to those championship rounds that would decide the fight, man. And, you know, Jermell Charlo he showed that he can stay focused for 12 rounds. He showed that he can stay disciplined. He can carry his power to the end of the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? I was watching that fight with my wife the other night, man, and I was watching the replay of the knockout when Charlo caught him with them 3 clean hooks in a row. And, you know what I mean, just his facial expression was like, he was still focused. He was in his face all broke up like, yeah, I want to hurt this boy. You know what I'm saying? That takes a lot of, focus and a lot of concentration, man, to be able to carry that through, you know what I mean, through 12 rounds, man. But that was a hell of a fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that again, you know. And the fight, between Charlo and Julian J. Rock Williams, that's gonna be very interesting. That's gonna be very interesting, man. Tony Harrison showed a hell of a chin in that fight. Up until that point, Jamel hit him with some hellacious shots all through the fight. You know what I'm saying? But at the end, after that fatigue set in, after your body lax a little bit, you know what I mean? Your punch resistance ain't gonna be all that, man. But Julian Williams, man, who was knocked out by Jamal Charlo, can he withstand Jamel Charlo's power? That's gonna be the big question. Because J-Rock looked at hella good against Hurd. I mean, his inside game was on point. I mean, he was sharp. I mean, man, he was sharp, man. I think that was that was the sharpest fighter I might have seen this year. He was so sharp, man. I mean, his shit was crisp and flowing. Everything was working great in that fight against Jarrett Hurd. But Jarrett Hurd, he says he wants to avenge that. He wants a rematch, man. And after listening, at first I didn't understand why Jarrett Hurd didn't, take the rematch. So I thought he was moving up to 160. Then I heard he was staying at 154. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to get your titles back? But once he explained it, I'm like, all right, I got you. I understand it, man. You know what I'm saying? He came back. I did a video about the dude Ernesto, man, how slimy and dirty I think those comments were. You know what I'm saying? You keep in-house business in-house. You don't go out into the street telling your family business, man. You know what I mean? And when he went and did that interview, I'm gonna shout out my man Jason from Laugh at First Sight. That's where the video originated from, where he was talking about Jarrett Hurd. You know what I'm saying? When Jarrett Hurd, he said he left Ernesto, said he was fucked up about that, man. He had been with Ernesto 12 years since he started this thing. He was fucked up that he had to sever ties with him. He didn't have no gym. He had no trainer. You know what I'm saying? He was lost, he said. He didn't want to go into a rematch against a guy who just beat him like that. And I got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? But now he's down there with Coach K. He's working on different things, man. And, he said he's ready. He's ready for that rematch, man. He's going up against this dude. I forget his name, on the Danny Garcia, Ivan Redcheck card in January. And I'm going to see if it's anything different with Hurd. You know what I'm saying? He said he's going to try to be more defensive, responsible. We're going to see, man. My man James West says Charlos versus Williams will be a very interesting fight. Williams looked excellent against Hurd. Can he do it again? And that's the question. That's the question, man. I keep saying to myself, because that performance by him, man, that was a once-in-a-lifetime performance, man. That performance was on point. I mean, he was firing on all cylinders, man. That boy looked good. You know what I mean? Can he do it again? That's the question. That's the question. But listen, man, hey, man, I've been on here for an hour, man. It's Sunday. I'm going to go up here and watch the Dublin Murders and, chill out, man, and eat a little dinner and get ready for the work day, man, work week, man. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all stopping through, chopping it up with me on a Sunday evening. I enjoyed all your comments, man, all your input. Francisco Santana, yeah, that's who we fighting. Yep, that's who we fighting. And Francisco looks terrified. You know what I mean? They was talking to him. He looked terrified. My man AV Julian, man, he says Tank 25 struggled against a one-footed, over-the-hill veteran. Crawford fought the man in his prime, dropped him 4 times, stopping him in the 5th. Davis ain't ready. My man AV Julian, I am so glad that you were able to join me, fam. But you know what? This is the end of it, baby. I'm about to get up off of here, man. But I talked about all that and, you know what I'm saying, my perspective on it, man. I don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with you, man. I think, Tank dominated every round. Tank knocked him down 3 times, hurt him multiple times. You know what I mean? I think that, it wasn't the sharpest Tank. But I think Tank did what he was supposed to do. But listen, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Like I always say, if you're new here, I want you to be here. So think about hitting that subscribe button as we stay knee deep into this boxing conversation, man. And if you did hit the like button on your way in, I appreciate it if you hit it on the way out. But in the meantime and in between time, stay blessed and keep on supporting this sport that we love called boxing.